The fall of Main Street, a worst-case scenario for New York's working families. It started with promises. The U.S. Sovereign Wealth Fund, designed to strengthen the economy, was supposed to be a game changer. Government officials backed by corporate donors and wealthy insiders poured billions of taxpayer dollars into the unstable cryptocurrencies while telling working families it was an investment in the future. But in 2026, it all came crashing down. Instead of securing American financial future, the sovereign wealth fund collapsed, and with it, faith in the US dollar. As foreign governments dumped their reserves, inflation spiraled out of control. Food prices doubled overnight. Gas at $12 per gallon. Mortgages skyrocketed past 20%. Families in New York's 23rd district struggled to survive. Small businesses shut down. Farmers couldn't afford fuel for their tractors. And retirees watched their savings vanish. Who did the politicians blame? The other party. Instead of taking responsibility, politicians pointed fingers. Republicans blamed Democrats. They overregulated the economy. They drove businesses away. Their reckless spending is the real reason this happened. The Democrats blamed the Republicans. They let Wall Street run wild. They handed the economy over to the billionaires and corrupt crypto firms. This is all their fault. Both parties ignored their role in the disaster. Neither side admitted that both parties had supported the Sovereign Wealth Fund, cheered its creation, and ignored the warning signs. Instead of holding corrupt officials accountable, Congress held useless hearings designed for TV soundbites, not real justice. Meanwhile, as New York families begged for relief, their representatives in Congress stayed silent, too afraid to challenge their party, too dependent on wealthy donors who had already moved their assets overseas. Protests begin. But who gets arrested? By September 2026, outrage spilled into the streets. Farmers blocked highways. Small business owners rallied outside City Hall. Families protested outside of bank headquarters. The American people demanded answers, but instead of arresting the politicians who allowed this to happen, the government turned its power against the working class. Protesters were labeled as economic terrorists. The National Guard was deployed to restore order. Social media accounts exposing corruption were banned. Who was thrown into jail? Not the representatives who managed the Sovereign Wealth Fund, not the crypto billionaires who manipulated the markets, not the political donors who cashed out before the crash. Instead, farmers, small business owners, and veterans were arrested for standing up against corruption. Working families were called the problem, while politicians and elites walked free. Election 2026, a last chance for democracy. With midterms approaching, political leaders scrambled to protect themselves. Election laws were rewritten, restricting mail-in voting and increasing ID requirements, especially in working-class areas. Opposition candidates were smeared as radicals and threats to stability. Talk of canceling elections for national security began circulating in Congress. For working families, the November 2026 election was no longer about left versus right, it was about survival. Would voters demand accountability, remove corrupt politicians, and restore economic stability? Or would fear, division, and finger pointing allow those who caused the crisis to stay in power while working families continue to suffer? History repeats itself, or does it? Throughout history, governments in crisis have used financial collapse to tighten their grip on power. If our elected leaders fail us, the next step isn't justice, it's cracking down on those who demand it. Will New York's 23rd District fight for working families? Or will its representatives betray them, allowing corrupt elites to blame the other party while escaping accountability? The choice is ours, but time is running out.